Hey, everyone. Angela O'Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
Hey, and I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
And we made it by 1 minute. We skin.
That's just call me 1 minute Rob, or maybe not.
Don't mind the noise that's going on in the background. As I've told you guys the last couple of market updates, I'm getting a pool in my backyard, but now they're finally nearing completion and they are doing the landscaping back there. So we are super excited about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to tell you, I don't know if they're going to hear much because you got new windows too. And I don't.
Oh, good.
The old windows would have been like, it would have been rattling in here. We would hear it.
Yeah, true.
But I don't hear. I mean, I guess if we really just stayed quiet,
Right.
They'd hear it. But
yeah, because I got soundproof windows, you know how soundproof that is. If the one viewer that's on, if you can hear us, let us know, right?
Yeah, make sure we don't have our checker today.
Yeah. So, Damon's at the dentist right now, so he usually makes sure that we are live and going well. So just put a thumbs up if you can hear us, right?
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm great. Doing great. Just trying to make a living.
And you're going on vacation?
Well, yeah, going to see Dad.
To
see Dad. I guess, it's vacation. But it's
kind of match.
Yeah. We got something works, right?
Right.
In the background. I mean, it looks
really where's great. Dad live?
Dad is in North Carolina.
Oh, interesting. I just was talking to a guy from North Carolina.
Yeah.
A new lead that just called me.
Nice. Yeah. It's just outside of Chapel Hill. My aunt and uncle live in Chapel Hill. So
nice.
I'll be staying with them and then staying in Carborough. And anyway, it's a beautiful time to be there right now.
Oh, I bet. We're finally going to get in the 70s next week. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I haven't even enjoyed my pool yet.
Oh my, yeah. Well, it tried to hang around for you.
It tried. All right. So let's get
to
hard,
it. Actually.
So welcome to the channel, folks. And as you know, this is our monthly market update. We will be going over August 2024 numbers and some interesting numbers. Did you have a chance to take a look at them?
I did. Eyeball them.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into the numbers, but there's a lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of inventory.
Yeah, inventory's clicking up.
A lot of crappy inventory.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of inventory that needs a lot of work, and these sellers are cray-cray. Yep. They are overpricing the homes, thinking they can get last year's numbers, and their home needs a shite ton of work.
Yeah. I mean, I won't even speak about one that I've got a friend who's got a listing, and I saw it and I was like, man, you need a lot of work here. For this money.
Well, the market has been very interesting after the whole new policy changes that took into effect officially on August 12th. It's August 17th. Sorry, someone can hear us yet.
Thank you.
It's just been a whole different ball of wax. Have you been putting offers or anything? Have you experienced it yet?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I've only had a couple of offers that I've thrown in, but right. Yeah, I've experienced it a little bit. And
yeah,
it's different. So, that's what I've been, I even went a little bit over it in my little update that I just posted today. The sellers, I'm saying it that, and maybe this is what you're saying. Maybe I should let you say what you're saying.
No, before. You say it. No.
Well, what I think where you're going is I think sellers are being, they're just kind of playing chicken.
Right. They're being too aggressive.
Yeah.
And not just aggressive, they're being very greedy because one, they expect to get these high numbers, but not give any concessions or help pay for the buyer broker's commission. They won't reduce their price. They won't pay closing costs. They'll only offer, if they do pay the buyer's commission, agent's commission, it's only like 1%. They're still very holding on to. But if you look at it, when we get into the numbers, the number of listings past 30 days is huge.
Yeah. And it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And especially the more that you tell me that, because my experience was that this seller was playing chicken, and they, they were gonna just, yeah, like you said, they were kind of going to be greedy. And I guess you could say it's greed. I think it is greed, but it's partially because they are under this impression. And that's exactly what I thought we would go through.
I was talking to a buyer in California, and he was telling me, because he wants to sell his house there, that the listing agents are doing two types of offers. They're doing one that is lower without the concessions for the commission, and then one with a much higher price if they want the seller to pay for the buyer's commission.
So they're literally putting in two offers at the same time.
They have one non-disclosed list price, and they have one disclosed list price. So if someone makes an offer and they want the commissions paid, then they're asking for a higher price.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if they don't want the buyer's commissions paid, then the purchase price is lower. It's like a sliding scale kind of.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's so ridiculous that any listing agent would go out there and do that. Is just, I mean, this has got to be the seller's idea, not the listing agent's idea. I would certainly hope. I think that's just a ridiculous way to handle things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who's representing the buyer? I want to know who's representing the buyer.
The listing agent.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Are they really?
Right. Yeah, because my brokerage, and we talked about this, and you know what? This will be the last that I want to talk about this NAR, because you know what? I'm tired of talking about it. I really want to talk about new construction, okay? And I think that's where it's at right now. So, but most brokerages don't allow dual agency. My broker doesn't. A lot of states don't do it, and it's wise because I can see why you don't want to have be representing both sides of the party. There's a conflict of interest. A lot can happen, and buyers or sellers can be mad because they think you're taking side with one over the other.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you're going to have, if you're a seller and that was your original client, a lot of times that's going to be where your loyalty will lie first. And so, I mean, do you, as a buyer, do you really want that? Do you want that to be, how you're treated? No, you want to be represented properly. So I think buyers, by the way, you're in control. So buyers, you can make these things happen. I would not be scared about this at all because there's just not too many buyers, and I think the sellers they're gonna have to come to a point here.
Well, they're gonna start coming to reality when there's a lot of competition out
100%.
there. And we're gonna go over the increase of inventory in this market update. Basically, what I'm seeing is that homes are staying on the market over 30 days with multiple price reductions, and are we on a verge for a market crash or a correction, right? Despite these changes, the median price is still hanging around there. It hasn't dipped up drastically and hasn't dipped down drastically.
I think that's a lot of what was to what is.
Right.
What I take. I think there were a lot of people that saw this coming too. Yeah. Buyers that said, let's get in before we have to deal with some of this. So what happens next is what we're all waiting for.
Yes.
And I think it's so crazy because right now I think that's the story of the day, is why there might also be a lot of buyers on the sidelines. They're kind of wait and see what happens, right?
But at the same token, though, if the interest rates do go down, these buyers are going to be coming back out and play, and then that inventory is going to get gobbled back up again.
I don't know. First of all, I don't think that's going to happen like crazy. And if it's only a quarter point drop. So right now we are at the lowest we'll see rates all year. I mean, I'm not the lowest, highest we'll see rates all year.
Right.
We're at the highest rates we'll be all year right now. Yet people have not moved. They're a 1.5% lower than they were, a year and a half low right now for rates. And I think a year and a half low, yet it's not driving people to the market.
Well, I think because with this dooming election right now, people want to wait to see who's going to get elected president, either Kamala or Trump, and that's going to help either confidence. It's going to boost somebody's confidence depending on who gets elected, right?
No matter what, you're kicking back.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. I think everybody's taking this wait and see approach with rates, with
presidential
election. And we had mentioned one other thing in there. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're going to be, what's going to happen in the market period. I think some people are going, is this a chance to...
Well, when we look
change.
at the numbers and analyze, 2022 is when we hit the peak, and then all of a sudden we went down. Okay. So based on, I always like to analyze years past numbers, because everything is always trends. Everything happens, and it's always can be trendy, right?
Yeah.
But enough of that. Let's finally get into the numbers, and then I'll explain what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, you'll get into it all. Right? Obviously, hey, we're on fire. I love it. We have things that we're ready to talk about here.
So let's get into the numbers. Last month, there were 2,138 single-family homes that closed, which is only down 0.3% from the month prior, but up 6.4% from prior year. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
Okay. We had a good, pretty strong selling last month.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not falling off a cliff.
Not yet.
Yet.
Right. And then the median price went from 480,000 in the month of July to 476,875,000, which is again down 0.7% and up 6.6% from the prior year.
Yeah. Will remain up for the year, I think, overall. We should see that.
Yeah. So I always like to go over August of 2023. The median price was 447,435. August of 2022, it was 450. And then August of 2021, it was 405,000. So we're relatively almost about a $30,000 difference in median price from year over year.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if we drop down to last year's number at 447, we're still doing pretty good. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because 480 is just too high. We almost hit the peak of the market. I mean, we were only $2,000 off. And I could have thought that this was the last push for August. But no.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
I mean, I was surprised that it kept pushing on through, in July. So,
right. So then the median price for condos and townhomes, now they have been hovering around relatively this number.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gone up and they really haven't gone down. Basically, they decreased to 292,000, which is down 1.4% from the prior month, but up 1.7% from the prior year. And then also August of 2023, the median price for condos, let's get rid of that, was 287. So we're slightly above, but not significantly. Huge difference. It's only a $5,000 difference from now until last year. And then August of 2022, the median price was 264,900. And then in August of 2021, the median price was 229,000. So of course, from 2021 to 2024 is a huge significant difference. But for the last 3 years, it's really not much of a significant difference.
Yeah, the condos and townhomes have been very steady as far as what they do. And I think that is actually a market to watch if you want to see if you have some softening, that could be where it happens first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, folks? Now we like to get into the luxury market, and they're always a seesaw? They're up and down.
A little bit of you can swing. It swings more.
Yeah. So last month in the luxury market, which is any homes over $1 million, we had 138 homes sold. But in July, that number was 158. So we had a 20 home decrease in luxury home sales. We also had a decrease in median price in the luxury market. It decreased to 1.3 million in August, and in July, that number was 1.456 million, which was a $156,000 decrease in median price in the luxury market.
Yeah, I am. That's a big. Actually, that's a bit of a big swing.
That is a big swing.
I am a little surprised, but not necessarily. I think that the luxury market can be a smart mover when you look at it overall. The numbers we were almost at 1,000 million plus properties on the market at one point. It's actually gone down. And what that tells me is that the luxury home sellers are deciding to not put their properties on the market right now.
Right.
Maybe not in mass, but there's less of them, which is interesting because the rest of the market is going up.
So I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Why are people listing? And I don't understand why people are listing. It just doesn't make sense, right? Because I guess maybe they have to. But for me, I would just hold off and wait to list, right? Because the people that are listing these houses are crappy, and then that's increasing our inventory.
I don't think that. So I don't think people look at it as an overall whole. They're just looking at their property to sell.
Right.
A lot of times.
Right.
On the other hand, what I am going to say, so there's two sides of that coin, because I think a lot of the luxury market are smart sellers, and they do look at it as a whole.
I'm not talking luxury market. I'm talking as a whole.
Okay. Because
sellers as a whole.
So yeah, I mean,
because we keep on increasing month after month after month, that number of listings without offers keeps on going up.
Yeah, and it could be that you're seeing more and more sellers that aren't willing to or don't have the money to put into the property to fix it up before they sell it. So they're trying to get it in before they feel like maybe things are going to change.
True. Makes sense. Before they feel that it's going to crash or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some of that sense that hey, we're softening, so let me get this sold before it happens. I don't have the money to fix it up, so but it's still a good property.
But price it accordingly, folks.
I think that's the fool's errand that they're doing.
Yeah.
When I look at it, that's because the price decreases have been really going through the roof. I mean,
I think sellers have this belief that their home is beautiful and the world, when in reality it just sucks. Well, and it needs a lot of work.
Yeah, and we've been like 3+ years, maybe even 4 years of like very strong and even going back further before 2020, very strong seller market. And I think that creates an ego sometimes, that the seller just is and they've been told for 3 years that that the sky is falling.
Well, what's funny is on my Facebook news feed, I used to post before Rob. I did my market updates. I've been doing market updates for a very long time by myself. And then I met Rob and we started doing them together. So I found one that I did in September of 2019. And it's pretty much the same thing, saying the same thing, because in 2019, at the end of 2019, you had those doomers, you still had doomers, and they were saying Vegas is doomed for a crash. Vegas market's going to crash. 2020, you're going to crash, yada, yada. 2020 came in January 2020, and we were going through the roof. And then what happened? COVID happened. And everyone across the country they
were all right for a second. It crashed.
Yeah, it crashed for a second. But then June of 2020, let me tell you, things skyrocketed. Oh. And you have these doomers that say it's going to crash. It's been longer than 4 years. It's been at least 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just think in the last several years, it's been really, really strong. And I think there is a ego about that, hey, whatever. I've been hearing that. That's not, And I mean, I don't like if I'm dealing with somebody that's selling their property, when I'm dealing with somebody selling their property, I'm certainly not saying we can't get this done or that we're not going to, that you're going to have a big, huge problem. That's not even what we're saying right now.
Right.
We're just looking at the reality of what's out there and why some things aren't selling, why they're having to decrease their prices. There's a lot of foolish listing going on. That's really what we're saying.
Yeah. And pretty soon as we talked about this in one of our other market updates, traditionally a seller's market when there's 6 months or less of inventory, a buyer's market 6 months or more. Our months of inventory, which we're going to talk about, it'll be near 3 months of inventory pretty soon. And to me, that's more of a buyer's market, in my opinion. Sellers are going to have less leeway going forward in these next few months.
I 100% agree. I think that's going to create and continue to create the softening that I'm fully projecting.
Right.
What that softening means and how much it means, I don't know how deep it'll be. It really is a matter of that's harder to see, because I think that starts to get into where if we don't have a spring like we usually do,
right,
then we would start to say, oh, this is turning into a little worse than we thought. I don't really see that happening. So right now I'm thinking just in the next traditionally slower months,
right,
with all the things that are compiling on right now and the adjustments that are going to have to take place, I think that's going to create a further softening. It's going to be actually a very good buyer's market.
yes.
I think that you as a buyer, any agent that has buyers, you have the gold. That's what I think.
Yeah, because as more and more homes come on the market, the sellers lose their, what's that? Not selling power, right? I guess.
Yeah, they don't have their leverage anymore.
Exactly. That's
And I think that's already starting to take place. If you look at certain areas of town, you already have a little bit of that. Now there's like, I got a listing coming on, and in that area, there's not a lot of competition for my seller. So it just really is specific to certain areas. Like in Summerlin, if you have the cream of crop type property in Summerlin, you're probably still getting plenty of looks and views. Just, I mean, if you're out of the on the other side of the planet with your price, that's where it's going to sit and not go anywhere, right? But
yeah, and then you have the doomers doing all these videos because of the price reductions. And the reason you're seeing price reductions is not because the market's crashing, as we say this in every video, is because the sellers overpriced it to begin with.
Yeah, they're still going in this trajectory when things are going more in this trajectory.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's planing out. We've clearly hit a precipice in my mind.
Yeah.
As far as how high this market is going to go this year.
And yeah, I think we've reached max.
Right.
If we follow what happened in 2022, where we hit the max in May of 2022 at 482, and then from there we just went down, I see that happening for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, like you said, going to go down, but I think we hit our max for this year.
Yeah, and I just look at it like, hey, a buyer, get on the deals. What goodies can you get from a seller? Now, some of these sellers are going to be like some of the ones we've talked about at the beginning, where they're in la la land still about what they feel like they have to pay for commissions or concessions or things like that. But they're going, if they really want to sell, they're going to come to Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
And that's going to, that especially like, God, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, if we get anywhere near 10,000 properties on the market, which was kind of the norm back 2019 and prior.
Yes.
If we get anywhere near there with the buyer activity we have, I think that there will be some sellers that need to sell.
So what I did was, again, I'm comparing this year to 2022 for a good reason. Okay.
Gotcha. It was a scary time
right. So let's get back into the numbers, and then I have some insights to go over. Okay. So now we're going to get back to the new listings. We had in August 3,153 new listings, which is a lot, and that's up 6.4% from the prior month and up 19.4% from the prior year.
Mm.
That is huge. And that's why we see the inventory levels. Of course, we had some sales, but not enough sales to gobble up the buildup of the inventory, right?
100%.
So with that said, now there are 5,268 single family homes listed without offers in August, which is up 13.7% from the previous month and up 35.7% from the previous year. And in July, that number was 4,634. So we had a 634 increase in homes listed without offers. But in August of 2023, we were at 3,881, right? But here's where I want to compare to August of 2022. So what I said was our peak was in May. We went down, and then all of a sudden, shikes load of homes came on the market in 2022 summertime. We hit the peak at almost 8,000 at 7,997 listed without offers, which is still 2,729 more homes in 2022 than in 2024. So we're not there yet.
And that was just single family. So the total on market at that time was getting up.
Yeah. I always look at single family, right? So what my point is that we are not going to be like last year, and we're not going to be like 2022, but we are going to see that gradual increase in single family homes. It won't be as drastic as 2022, but it will be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the question. Will it be as
Well,
drastic?
if we continue with the trend of new listings like this every month and the home's still not sitting, then this number is going to keep on increasing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm going to say 100% a whole bunch today because we are on point with where we feel we're at right now.
Let's see if I had anything else. All right. So now that brings us to the housing supply. Right now, we're currently at 2.5 months of inventory, which is 14.1% increase from July and 27.5% increase from year over year. Put it in August of 2023, we were at 1.9 months of inventory, but August of 2022, we were at 4 months of inventory. Okay. So I think we're in between there, right?
Yep.
Those 2 years. And 66.8% of the closings for the month of August was on the market 30 days or less. And in July, that number was 69.9. In August of 2023, it was 69.8. So again, houses are sitting on the market much longer than 30 days.
Yeah. If they're not looking good, if they're not ready to, moving ready or ready to rock and not have a lot of work, and if they're priced badly, there you're sitting around.
Yeah. Kurt asked how the luxury housing market is going, and we kind of already talked about that. If you want to rewatch after this, you can go back.
I'm just going to add, if you want.
Okay.
I will just say I don't think it's going terribly. I think
it's still very strong.
It's actually, yeah. I think it's yeah. There's nothing going terribly, really. Because the inventory has actually gone down in the luxury market. Right. I think that's what I think is a real strong positive about that market.
And I don't know if you guys saw in the RJ a couple of weeks ago, but Warner Brothers may be coming to Las Vegas if they can get the film incentives. So then now we're going to have Warner Brothers and Sony Studios here in Vegas.
That's huge.
And also, if I read the RJ daily, right? And also they talk about land shortage. If you've noticed, we're going to go into, I'm done with the NAR. We said our bit in the beginning. This time every year we talk about new construction. I want to start focusing back on new construction because I wholeheartedly believe new construction is going to be the best thing to buy this last quarter. Because one, if the interest rates start going down, the builders are not going to be offering as many incentives. And two, what's happening is a lot of builders have a lot of closeout communities.
Yep.
And that's where you're going to be able to get a lot of great deals on a lot of closeout communities. And you barely see too many new communities coming on the market right now. So that means we have very little inventory in the new construction side of things. Right?
Yeah, they're the ones that are coming on are still a ways out.
Yep.
The ones that I'm aware of, they're still a ways out. And yeah, so I think you're right. I know you're right, actually.
Well, we talked about this the last 2 years in a row where I always say get the best deals, and new construction is always towards the end of the year, the last quarter, because builders want to make their year-end numbers. And also, two, they want to get rid of their inventory as well, right?
Yeah.
Year after year, we've seen this. And usually the beginning, like September, October, is when you can get the best deals. And as the year progresses, it's not as good as it was in September or October, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, this year could be a sort of a little bit more late bloomer on that. I think it will be. I'll put a little prediction out there. I think towards the end of the year will be actually even better than a September, October time. I think the November, December time is going to be where they really start tossing some
maybe
deals
I'm just based off of, again, I always view things through trends.
Yeah.
What we've noticed in years past, how these builders were doing their interest rates and
fully
incentives.
agree with your assessment and why, and looking back at that, the only thing I would say is it seems like we're a little off on, like, compared to 22, how things slowed down sooner in that year. And maybe this year we slowed down a little later.
Right.
And so I think that, also the things that are in the bucket right now of that people have to work with as far as, brokerage agreements and.
Right. But luckily, knock on wood, there's still some awesome builders out there that aren't cutting the commissions and still paying the buyer agent's commission.
Those builders they're gonna be smart. They're gonna be the ones they already know. It's not that they're catching on. They already know. They have had this plan. They've known, hey, okay, if we are slow, we're going to continue to offer our agents their commissions, because that's going to keep them moving inventory.
Yeah, and some builders like Pulte, if you go under contract with Pulte, they require, I don't know if you know this, the BBA or the buyer brokerage representative agreement before you can even make a contract.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And then I was at some kind of luncheon, and one person told me that before they can even show the KB home community that they asked for that BBA, or they couldn't even show their clients and register them without that BBA. But to me, that's none of their business unless after the fact, right? If you want to show them communities, it's up to the agent to ensure that they have filled that buyer brokerage agreement, right? Who is this builder to monitor it being filled out, right? To show a house.
So I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. I'll juxtaposition on that one a little bit. I think if I'm the builder, I'm going, you know what? I can foresee that there will be agents bringing people in here that think they've got them, but really there's another agent that might have them. And now we have issues. Now we don't want to get involved in that. We want to see that you have that signed document, and that.
Yeah, but if you register them.
Yeah, I guess that's the same, but
also too is what the builders are making sure is whatever you put in that commission percentage.
That's the better reason.
Matches.
That's the better reason.
So if you told your buyer that you're only going to charge them 2.5%, but the builder's giving you 3%, they're not going to give you 3%. So
that's the better reason. Yes. I'm sorry. That's really the good reason.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So
I didn't play a very good devil's advocate or whatever.
But that's the reason, is because they want to make sure that they're not going to pay you above and beyond what you already agreed with the buyer.
Which is why if I'm showing new home, I'm getting that agreement to say a higher percentage.
Right.
It's, I'm not necessarily going to hold my client responsible if I only get this much difference, but I know that the builders, sometimes you might walk in there and find out you
have a special 4%.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah. I mean, in my career, I've seen 5% and 6%.
Yeah.
So if they're offering that and you don't have that in there, then that's a bummer.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, folks, so we're going to go over all the incentives that we know of, and probably next month when fourth quarter starts, we will do a builder incentive video like we've done in years past, right? So Century Communities is having what's called their new home kickoff event. And it says, take the next step into home buying journey and a 30-year fixed rate loan on select financing with Century Communities. When you use an FHA or VA loan, you get 3.875%. When you do a conventional loan, it's 5.5% interest. However, you have to go under contract by today. Of course, they haven't updated, but Century Communities is known for keeping the same type of things and changing the dates on it, right? So stay tuned to my website where I've posted a link to all of this, where by tomorrow, maybe they'll have it change. Now, did you know Century Communities so far is the only builder that I know of that you can buy or have to buy the home online?
What do you mean have to buy the home online?
Well, Century Communities is only doing spec homes. They don't do building from ground up. So when you go to the community, you like the community, you find a lot, you have to click and purchase online.
Oh, they have a little portal that you do it through. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that more recent with them? Because I've sold Century Communities and they didn't.
I
do
did it
that
last year. They did it, and I
Huh.
just sold a Century in the Bluffs, so it's been the last year or two.
way. It's been a while since I sold one. A couple of years since I sold a Century, but they weren't doing it before. Right?
Yeah, that's the trend with Century. So make sure your agent goes with you on the very first visit, registers you, and then they can guide you on, what lot you want to make an offer on, so that they can let the sales rep know, the builder sales rep know that you're going to be making that offer.
Sounds good.
KB Homes is having their move-in ready discount. Okay, so hold on. Visit now to discover great prices on new homes you can personalize, as well as move-in ready homes if you prefer to move in sooner. Plus, qualified buyers can finance with their KB Homes through KBHS Home Loans and lock in the rate as low as 4.875% on select move-in ready homes that close by October 31st, or a personalized home that closes by February 28th of next year.
It's a little bit telling because KB was not talking anything about move-in ready homes for a while.
Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. They're not like Century Communities, Richmond American, Lennar. They're all very heavy on move-in spec homes, right? Toll Brothers has been doing it lately, but they do it because they're closing out in all those Sky Canyon communities, right?
Yep.
That
you can't build on a lot there anymore.
Oh shit.
She's cussing, folks.
Broadcasting. Can't talk. Call back. And I need to get this as my yard guy. All righty. I got to speed this along. All right. Pulte Homes is offering a limited special financing on a 30-year fixed rate. And they've been having this for a little while, and it's a friggin' phenomenal deal. It's a 3-to-1 buy down on select move-in ready homes. When you finance through Pulte Mortgage, you get 1.99% interest rate on the first year, 2.99% on the second year, 3.99 on the third year, and from years 4 through 30, you get 4.99% interest rate. Must go under contract on a move-in ready home and close by November 30th.
That is doable.
Lennar was doing the same thing, but I think their event has ended. It's kind of interesting. Pulte does a handful of spec homes as well. They're known for doing that, right? And then Richmond American, as we were talking about, has their 30-year fixed special financing. Again, must be under contract by September 15th and use their Home American Mortgage Corporation, and have to close by September 30th to get for a VA and FHA 3.99% interest rate, and for a conventional 30 at 4.75%. Or if you go under contract by October 31st and close, or October 31st or December 31st, the VA and FHA is 4.99%, and the 30-year conventional is 5.5%. Sorry, I'm trying to.
That's all right.
Let's see what my guy says. I'll come back later. Okay. Come back in an hour? Sorry. I have my yard guy. All right. Taylor Morrison, and I haven't sold to Taylor Morrison in a long time. There's not many Taylor Morrison out there. Is offering limited time fixed interest rate of 4.875 on their 30-year fixed mortgage on select quick move-in homes. If you enter into contract from now until, this one hasn't updated. So that one's not updated. Forget that one. Toll Brothers is actually having special incentives.
Yeah.
They're having their national sales event from now until September 22nd. And they choose a beautiful Toll Brothers quick move-in home that qualifies for a special 4.375% interest rate when you use Toll Brothers Mortgage. And a lot of the Toll Brothers communities, depending on the communities, have different incentives like closing cost incentives, etc. I just went under contract in a home at Elkhorn Grove over there in the Northwest. Beautiful single-story home. Mm-hmm. They're building it from ground up. And but it's nice that these builders have some options for move-in ready as well as building from ground up, because if people want to move and they just want a brand new home, it's such a great option.
Yes.
Now the only sad thing with Toll Brothers is their move-in ready home is not move-in ready home. Oftentimes they're not ready until October, November, December next year. So
they're months out.
But at least you can probably finagle some deals. And again, these communities that are closing out and new construction communities, not only can you get these special financing and also closing cost assistance, but if you have great agents that know how to negotiate, we can ask for a lot more, like the purchase price lower, as
Yeah.
well as other incentives like appliance packages, etc.
Yeah, I just did one where we got double what they were offering. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Was that the one at Paloma?
It's at Sky
The
Canyon.
one that I referred you to?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got Tri Point Homes, and they have two different deals going on right now. It's a conventional 30-year fixed rate at 4.99% and 8,800 in closing costs in Kyle Point and Azure Park and Citrine. And then they also have another one and the same interest rate in Crestview, Highview, Southridge, and Vertex. So, and then TriPoint also has different things depending on the community, different other additional options. Now, if you know, Arrow Peak and Alpine Ridge has going to have an additional 23 lots release towards the end of this year. So those of you that really wanted to buy in Arrow Peak and love those the bigger floor plans, the 2,700 square foot single story tri-point homes, they're going to start releasing them towards the end of this year.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Let's get some questions.
Okay. So, Kurt Lee says, I have a house in Mesa struggling to sell. Is that Mesa Ridge or Mesa? What, Kurt, are you talking about Mesa Ridge? Or is it?
Probably just Mesa Village.
Mesa Village?
Yeah. Mesa Ridge.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, he said luxury, so that's why I was, yeah.
Is it a single story or a two-story? And which collection is it? Because some of the collections, over there in Mesa Ridge, that Viewpoint had some litigation in regards to the windows that they had put in.
Yeah, a number of homes did.
Yeah. Two-story, I think you guys viewed it, actually. Oh, that's funny. I viewed it? That's cool. I was showing houses, a lot of houses in like a couple months ago in that area. Hi, guys. If interest rates come down pretty soon, do you think house prices will go up or down?
Well, typically when rates go down, house prices go up. That's a typical. But I think what my thought right now is that we're talking. The Fed is pretty much locking in at 0.25% unless they surprise us and do more. I don't know if 0.25% will do a whole lot.
No, I don't think it'll make people move just yet.
I think it's already priced in. I think when the way the mortgage and the bond market work, it's kind of already priced in at this point. So even when they get to actually saying, okay, we're doing this, we might see a little bit of,
just a little softening, but I don't think we would ever again go down to below 3%. I think an average, comfortably 5%, right? I mean, I think that's where it could be. But typically when interest rates go down, home prices go up because then the buyer demand is going up.
Yeah, you're the more that interest rates go down, the more that people can afford to get in and buy properties, and are incentivized to do so. And throughout all the ranges of, whenever people use a loan. My thing right now is that speaking of trends, there is some trend evidence that says when the Fed finally does start to reduce rates, that it actually sometimes signifies that you're going into slight recessionary periods. So this is what we have to know. This is what the Fed's talking about right now. Are we going to have soft landing? They've been saying we can do that for a long time. There's a good possibility that that landing, if you will, could be soft. But being that we're in that traditional area where there has been some harder landings, when they get to this point, we have to see.
Yeah. You want to read the next one?
If you have a home that is nicely done inside, it will sell. Buyers want something that is new looking. Absolutely. Not just new looking, but it's not something they're going to spend a bunch of money to fix up.
Yeah, move-in ready, clean. Sometimes buyers are okay with upgrades as long as it's not a dump and have to like dump a lot of money into that house. But generally speaking, homes that are renovated and super clean and move-in ready are going to sell much faster than homes that are dumpy and look like crap, right?
Yeah.
With the pictures and
If you don't have, I mean, it's all presentation. It's pretty simple.
right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the home if fully furnished in RH Rhodes Ranch or
No.
Red Rock. What's RH? I don't know. And then he asked any success Ascension for getting more incentives. The only area in Ascension that you may get more incentives are the two-story home communities, because one, they're not selling very well, and they have a handful of spec homes for both Toll Brothers and for both or for Pulte as well. Now, for the single-story homes, especially in an incline, they have limited lots and they have drawings for each month for the lot on a bid process where you have to bid, and they've been seeing over 100 to 200,000 increase in bids for lot premiums because they don't have much lots and it's very popular floor plans. Now, incline, the point they do have, which is by Pulte, they have maybe one or two move in. Very seldom you're going to get too many incentives just because that's still pretty popular as well. And of course, the rest of Toll Brothers over there is still very hush hush, and they sure as heck not going to give you any incentives just because they can sell without having it.
Yep. Yeah. You're paying for everything there.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to get to the bets. Did we miss anything?
I don't know. Maybe not. we whipped through it a little bit.
Yeah, this is the fastest we've gone under an hour in a long time. But I have my yard people out there, so I really need to be out there.
My phone's been going off too.
And my husband's at the dentist, and I got to tell them how I want things, right? I have to be the foreman and the.
You mean in his mouth? Oh no, sorry.
I had to be the general manager or whatever, GC, because I designed the pool and I designed the backyard, and it's going to be very mid-century modern, a lot of desert landscaping. I'm going to have a lot of like San Pedros and Peruvian apple, Mexican fence post, lots of agaves. So it's going to be very beautiful, and I can't wait to show you guys. By next market update, I'll show a picture of my backyard. And if you guys follow me on social media, I will post it definitely on Facebook and possibly Instagram. Okay, because it's going to look awesome. I'm going to have those like 2 feet by 2 feet stepping stones with a nice dark gray rock in between. Anyway, I love to decorate.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over the bets and finally end it. Last month I went first. But I'm going to say that for medium price, I said that I was going with the way things were going, that August we were going to have a $2,000 increase in medium price. Rob said $1,500 medium increase, but we had a $3,100 decrease. So Rob won that bet.
Yeah, I would have said flat or decrease, but it was so shocking that the month prior we did go up.
Yes.
That I was like, okay.
Well, we went up 2,000, so I thought that will be the trend again.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't blame you.
So without offers,
knew that was a hard one.
Rob said $4,850. I said $4,900, and it went up to $5,268.
This was the one that we knew was really tough.
Yes.
And, I mean, it went up more than obviously both of us thought, but I thought we were going to be right there in that zone.
Yeah.
Neck and neck.
And then months of supply, Rob said 2.5. I said 2.4. And of course, Rob won that one. So
that one.
It was a very hard one. Now, if you like a full report by the Las Vegas Realtors, I posted a link down in the description below, and it will take you. Also, I have a link to my blog post if you want to see the numbers on it. But now we're going to hedge our bets. And since I went first last time, you get to go first this time.
Oh, yay. Okay, so I think we will have price decreasing.
Yes. Well, let me see where we're at, Robin Edge bets. All right, what were you think? How much decrease?
So this is where it gets a little tough because you could definitely start to say that you want to have you're going to see a lower. All right, let's just say, what was it this month? 32. I'm going to say 4,000. 4,000 decrease.
Okay. I'm going to price this right you. Well,
Yeah.
not really. I'm going to go 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had 3,100, and if we continue with the amount of inventory and homes not selling, that number is going to go up real quick.
Yeah, it's a tough. I didn't want to get too heavy-handed with it. Yeah, decrease.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want it to, because we've been bit in the past where it's like, no, this is going to happen, and then suddenly it's like,
yeah.
So I didn't want to get too crazy with it. But anyhow,
okay.
You are up next. Without
offers, again, based off of trends and what we saw in 2022, that's why I kept on bringing up 2022. I think that number is going to go up, and it did go up by how much was that?
It was 52 from what, 4?
What are we looking at? Oh, okay, hold on. It went up 634.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back down. I'm going to say 6,500.
Ooh, that's a chunky number.
Wait, hold on. Okay, it's at 52 and it went up 6,000, but if it goes up more, yeah, I'll just say 6,500. Go with my gut.
It's actually a good number because that's a tough number for me to argue with. It's only about a little over 1,000. I'm gonna go just under you. Speaking of prices, right? I'm gonna just say 6,450.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be funny because it'll be like
one or the other.
It'll be 64. It'll be right between us, 64.70 or something.
All right. So months of supply, your turn.
Months of supply. We are at
2.5.
Well, basing on what we're saying is happening here, I mean, are we going to go up a full half month's supply? Yeah, I mean, I'll put it at 3.
Okay. I'm gonna say 2.8.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, but with your number that you have there, it's going to be more than 2.8, I think.
I'll get one right or something. I'll get something right.
All right. Well, hey.
All right. Well, this is a record where we went live under an hour, and the first time in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We got the information out there.
Yeah, we got it fast.
Yeah.
No bullshitting around on this one because we could go on, right? And I'm just tired. We beat it to the ground for the last 3-4 months, and I'm tired of talking about it, quite frankly. I'm really excited about really focusing on new construction again, and getting the best deals possible for my buyers. Again, if you want to buy a new construction home, you need to bring your agent with you on the very first visit before you even register. And that's it.
Yep.
Any words of wisdom?
Well, just enjoy your week, everybody, and we will see you in 1 month from now.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you guys.
Almost Halloween time.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Getting to fall. It doesn't feel like fall in Vegas yet, does
it? And it sucks because now I can't enjoy my pool.
I know. We haven't, our speaking of like falling, we haven't had our temperatures fall yet.
No, but it will next week. Anyway, folks, thank you guys so much for watching.
Rock on.
And
do it peacefully?
Peacefully? Yeah. I forgot our saying.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. I forgot how to